organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, graduation is just days away for some. We look at two UI students as they prepare for their big day.
Plus, see what UI President Sally Mason had to say in regards to a recent controversial article written by a UI journalism professor.
And in sports, we take a look at the Iowa-Oklahoma matchup as they prepare for the Insight Bowl contest on December 30th. All that and more is coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Thanks for tuning in to your Thursday edition of Daily Iowan TV, your television, news, sports, and weather source for the Daily Iowan. I'm Adrian Crossley.
And I'm Josh Bolander. A University of Iowa journalism professor has been stirring up all kinds of controversy this week with an article he wrote bashing the Hawkeye State. The article, published in The Atlantic on December 9th, is critical of rural Iowa and questions the state's relevance as the first in the nation for the political caucus process. On Thursday, UI President Sally Mason wrote a letter in response to Bloom's article and says that Bloom's statements do not speak for the University of Iowa. President Mason goes on to say, quote, "What defines Iowans and their deeds and actions are their deeds and actions and not some caricature. When I travel the state, what I see is a land that is rich not only because of its soil, but because of how its people are grounded. Iowans are pragmatic and balanced, and they live within their means. Their lifestyle, while not glitzy, is humble and true, and can weather the most difficult of times," end quote. To read President Mason's full letter, log on to dailyiowan.com.
And with the fall commencement ceremony less than 48 hours away, some students are preparing to bid farewell in part. However, it's become increasingly more difficult for undergrads to finish within 4 years. Daily Iowan TV's Nick Fetty takes a look at this recent trend.
An article recently published in the Next Gen Journal suggests that graduating in 4 years is no longer common. According to a report from the Higher Education Research Institute, only 37% of students pursuing bachelor's degrees graduate from public universities within 4 years. Fifth-year senior Joseph Piasecki is following this trend.
It was a combination of two things. It was the academic opportunities I had as well as the social opportunities. I had planned really well going into college and even through my sophomore and junior years. I only needed 9 hours for a second major.
However, there are exceptions. Tricia Stords, who is graduating this December after her 5th semester at the University of Iowa, came into college with so much credit that she had no trouble finishing within 4 years.
In high school, while taking all these online classes, I was able to graduate high school a year early too. And so when I started at Iowa, I already had 2 years of college done. And so while at Iowa, it only took me 5 semesters to finish off my bachelor's degree.
Steps have been taken to help ensure students and their parents that they will finish college within 4 years. The 4-year plan here at Iowa is just one such measure. However, these 4-year plans are relatively uncommon in large public universities and are more often seen in small private colleges. But regardless, the students who do stay usually do it for academic reasons.
I think, a lot of people aren't aware that a majority of the students who do stay for that extra time, it is for a purpose. As much as we like to think that college is all Van Wilder-esque, it's not.
Regardless of the reason why they're staying, this is a trend that isn't likely going away anytime soon. Nick Fetty, Daily Iowan TV.
Check out the UI's website to find times and locations for all of the fall commencement ceremonies.
The University of Iowa has recently received a $5 million donation to be put towards various scholarships and other funds. Curtis and Carol Lane want the money to go to football scholarships as well as various funds for the Tippie College of Business. The two Atlantic Iowa natives already have a scholarship set up for business students in addition to faculty fellowship funds for instructors teaching business. Their most recent donation will keep these programs going. Kurt and Carol both graduated from the UI in 1973, and Kurt is currently serving on the UI Foundation Board of Directors.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, winter is now in full swing, which means so are the city's snow ordinances. Find out what you need to know.
Plus, Kirk Ferentz and Bob Stoops are preparing to face each other in this year's Insight Bowl, but find out about their relationship off the field.
But first, Daily Iowan TV's Mike Howell joins us in the studio for a look at your local weather forecast. Mike?
Thanks, guys. You know, some odd weather we've been having. Yesterday, highs near the 60s. Today, back down in the 30s, and the next few days will be somewhere in between. Tomorrow morning, we'll see temps on the chillier side, however, around 28 degrees with sunny skies. In the afternoon, we'll see temps in the mid-30s with some cloud cover setting in. And in the evening, we'll dip back down to 30 with some cloudy skies. Now, looking at our extended forecast, the next 7 days will bring a tad bit warmer temps, hovering around the 40-degree mark. This weekend, we'll see some sunny skies with a chance of rain and or snow on Monday and Tuesday. That's a look at your local weather forecast. Back to you guys.
Almost 9 years after it began, the war in Iraq was declared officially over on Thursday. American troops lowered the flag it had flown over Baghdad since 2003. The majority of the troops were sent home 2 weeks earlier than President Obama's projected December 31st withdrawal. Since the war began, there have been almost 4,500 American casualties and more than 30,000 wounded, compared to about the 120,000 Iraqi civilian casualties.
Today is a very special day, one that we have looked forward to for a very long time. It marks the ending of the war in Iraq. Secretary Panetta officially took down the flag and handed full responsibility over Iraq to the Iraqi people and their government. With this act, because of the bravery of our troops, the sacrifices of their families, and the leadership of President Obama, we were able to say the war in Iraq is over.
Clearing the roads is a big job that Iowa City takes on each winter. To make this job easier and your daily commute safer, the city enforces stricter parking regulations that all motorists need to adhere to.
Believe it or not, the first day of winter is 6 days away, which means plenty of snow is sure to come and the residents of Iowa City need to prepare, especially the motorists. The city of Iowa City has very strict snow ordinances that go into effect when a snow emergency is declared. During one of these emergencies, drivers have limited parking options. The city's website has posted these regulations and lists of no parking zones on their websites. If motorists do happen to park in these zones prior to the snow emergency's occurrence, they will then have 4 hours to move their vehicles into an approved parking area. If the vehicle is not moved within that time period, the vehicle will immediately be ticketed and towed without warning to the driver. For motorists who would not have access to off-street parking or an otherwise approved parking zone, the city is allowing residents to use the public ramps free of charge if the car is removed between 3 and 7 a.m. during the time the emergency is enforced.
To learn more about these ordinances, go to icgov.gov, scroll toward the bottom of the screen, and click on Snow Emergencies.
With the snowy winter weather in Iowa, it'll be good to spend a few days down in the desert for the bowl game and learn everything you need to know about Iowa's match against Oklahoma. We go to Daily Iowan TV's pregame.
Kirk Ferentz and Oklahoma coach Bob Stoops have been friends, teammates, and allies. Later this month, they will look forward to being on the same field again, but this means one friend wins and one friend loses.
It's not anything I look forward to, but there are worse things to do too.
Ferentz and company will be returning to Arizona to face Oklahoma in the Insight Bowl, the same bowl they were invited to last season. Now, Oklahoma coach Bob Stoops began his career at Iowa playing for Kirk Ferentz when he was the offensive line coach, and in 1982, Stoops was named MVP of the team.
Bob Stoops is a guy I've known for a long time and have tremendous respect for on all levels. Tremendous person. Was an outstanding player here, and just does a great job.
Here in Iowa, they say once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye. And when Stoops was in Arizona last year with Oklahoma playing in the Fiesta Bowl, he stopped by the Insight Bowl sidelines wearing a Hawkeye sweatshirt. And as Kirk Ferentz said, Bob Stoops will always be a Hawkeye, but it's probably safe to say that he'll be leaving the black and gold sweatshirt at home this year.
I doubt he'll have one on this year. Pretty good bet he won't.
But that's not the only storyline surrounding this game. The seniors have the opportunity to go out undefeated in postseason play.
Our seniors have had the opportunity to win 3 straight bowl games, and we talked about the fact that there's only four teams in the country that have been able to win 3 straight bowl games.
To get a 4th one's going to be quite a challenge.
A challenge that Iowa would accept any day as Stoops and Ferentz go head-to-head for the first time in their lives. It's Iowa versus Oklahoma under the desert lights. Hey there, and welcome into pregame as the Hawks and Sooners get ready for a matchup in the Insight Bowl. We're here to get you ready for the desert. I'm Jake Abrams.
And I'm Chelsea Byrne. The Hawks are headed back to Tempe for the 2nd year in a row. This time, the opponent a little more of a threat, as Oklahoma came into this season as the #1 team in the country. Now, they're number 14 in the BCS standings. But before we preview this matchup, some big news coming from the Hawkeye coaching staff.
Yeah, that's right. 13th year defensive coordinator here at Iowa, Norm Parker, released a statement earlier in the week saying that he'll be retiring after the Insight Bowl. I would like to announce that the 2011 Insight Bowl will be my last game as a football coach at Iowa. I would like to personally thank Gary Barta, Kirk Ferentz, the coaches, and the players at Iowa, along with the fantastic fans. It has been a great time, one that myself and my entire family greatly appreciate. I would also like to thank the office staff, the equipment people, and a special thanks to the medical staff, as I use them enough. The entire Hawkeye community has been great. Under Parker's direction, the Iowa defense has developed a reputation of being one of the hardest-hitting units in the nation.
But getting back to the Insight matchup, let's dig into a little Hawkeye Bowl history. Iowa is bowl eligible for the 11th straight season. They are one of 4 programs in the country to win a bowl game in 3 consecutive seasons. This year's bowl game will be the team's 26th bowl game and 10th under Kirk Ferentz. They're 6-3 under Captain Kirk, and the Hawkeyes rank 3rd in Big Ten Bowl appearances. Ohio State has 42, Michigan has 41, and the Hawkeyes are in 3rd with 26.
And before we leave you today, let's take a quick look at our Hawkeye Sooner connections. These 2 teams have only faced off once, and that was back in 1979. The White and Scarlet Sooners defeated the Hawks 21-6 in Norman, Oklahoma.
And a ton of former Hawkeyes will be suiting up against their alma mater. As we mentioned earlier, Oklahoma head coach Bob Stoops is an Iowa grad. He played when Kirk Ferentz was the offensive line coach back in 1982. Oklahoma assistant Jay Norvell is a former Hawk. He earned Big Ten honors in 1985. And finally, another assistant, Bruce Kittle, has Iowa connections. He's a Cedar Falls native who was a captain on the 1981 Iowa Rose Bowl team.
Well, that's going to do it for pregame. Thanks for tuning in. For more coverage and to follow me live from Tempe, Arizona, you can follow me on Twitter at Jake Abrams or log on to our website at www.dailyiowan.com.
For Jake Abrams, I'm Chelsea Byrne. Thanks for tuning in all semester long and have a very happy holiday season.